I was on open strings for 2 months. And I was, okay, I was very happy because, you know, I was like, okay, I'm going to learn all these things I didn't learn before. You know, 2 months went by and like, I got an A major scale. I got an A major scale. Another month. And maybe at the end of the year, we got to play a Handel sonata. And I was like, wow. So it was tough, you know. It was tough psychologically, but we knew we were there to figure out how things worked. And if you know how things work, 3 years later, you're playing all this repertoire much, much easily. And you know, other students, it's very nice when to talk about music, and it's wonderful to have teachers. I mean, there were wonderful teachers, and we'd learn. Guli was wonderful, but we have to do this work of the basics, even to make us go even further, because otherwise we get stuck, and then we have to learn on our own how to figure these things out. You know about Joseph Gingold. That was one of the great teachers of the 20th century. Galamian, you've heard of? Galamian Gingold. And Gingold was teaching in Indiana. And when I came, he already was no longer alive. But he was there when Nelli came. And you know, Gingold was a wonderful musician. And there's some master classes you can actually look at how he played incredibly, you know, old style violin playing. But he came into Nelli's lesson once when she just started teaching. And you know, Nelli, she would do the work. So, you know, open strings, how this works, like a doctor. And then Gingold just said to her, you know, thank God there's someone still around to do the dirty work. Because, you know, it's a kitchen work. I don't think it's dirty work. I love this kind of work because it's interesting. But this is something, especially, you know, when we're young and often students are talented and they play, they don't think about how they're playing. And when we have an injury or something that gets in the way, we're obliged to figure out where is the problem.
Because it's such a big, it's blocking me right now in my progress, you know, so.
In a way, that means if there's some tension somewhere, it means that there was always something that wasn't really, really comfortable. But we could always play around it and, you know, get around it. But sometimes an injury is saying that, it's not going to work. So if we want to keep going, we have to go back and find the root cause of it.
Yeah.
And then when we find it, we actually realize, but now all this other stuff works.
Yeah.
And we just start analyzing what we're doing. And we understand what we're doing. And when we understand what we're doing, all the doors start opening up. So this is what I was saying about the shoulder, because when I talk to all these students the last 2 days, I find, of course, most of our problems come from tension. But a lot of it is this shoulder. People play very well with shoulder rest, without shoulder rest sponge. It's not the point. The point is the violin has to be on the collarbone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an eye-opener.
Because we forget, you know, sometimes you come and you see people like, oh, I have a long neck. Yeah, they have a long neck, but the violin is sitting up here in the air. It's not even touching the collarbone. The chin rest helps with the neck, but please put your... And now, is it tense? Do you have pain? No, okay. And you know, sort of like, relax, and don't do anything, just bend your elbow. You see, already you're like, because we have a reflex.
So deep in me.
I know, because it's normal. If we do something for many years, we're like, and you know, this reflex, it's like a baby's reflex, like don't drop. It's normal. We're, you know, human beings, we have this reflex. But to play most efficiently, we have to retrain our reflexes so they work efficiently. Try again. So rest on the collarbone. Tell me the moment you feel it's tense, because it's you analyzing. I can see, I can sometimes feel, but I don't know what you're feeling, so yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine, yeah?
Fine. This is fine.
It's fine, yeah? And don't worry, you can slightly hold the violin there. It's really not very heavy. I mean, we're not going to do crazy shifts in Paganini. Relax. Okay. Did you feel like it just...
Like if I have to even slightly hold it, it's...
But look, you know how it's light, the violin. Yeah. Here, this is hold the violin and let it drop. Don't worry, I'm going to make sure your violin doesn't drop. Just hold the violin with your chin.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, hold it. Yeah, okay. Well, don't worry, it's not going to drop. Okay, pick it up with your hand, and just pick it up with your hand and let your shoulder down. Pick it. Is it heavy?
Oh, this works.
Not very heavy, right?
No, it's very light also.
It's very light. It's just a little bit of wood. So we want to always have the minimum effort necessary. It's still a bit tense. Ah, okay.
Was it better than?
A little bit better. But you know, like I said, it's so easy for a teacher to be like, relax. It's very hard to do because we retrain our muscles. Relax, 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 relax. So you see now your shoulder, is it hurting or not?
No.
Okay. So the idea of this is just to fill that space, to stabilize it when you do shifts.
So
There's no need to press with the shoulder.
This.
Yeah. And just relax. And then if you need, you can move it here, here. Yeah. Yeah, relax, relax. It's still a bit tense in the wrist. Still a bit tense. Now, let's try something because, you know, I'm not going to throw your shoulder rest out the window. Even though I think it's great to practice without the shoulder rest, no matter if you play with or without. And you talk to most violinists and they all went through with, without, this, sponge, a million things that they tried because everyone's trying to find what works. But what doesn't work is if you tense. That's what doesn't work. So try with the shoulder rest. I will put it on how you put it usually.
Well, to avoid that I'm gonna tension up, I did like this.
Okay.
And then on the collarbone. Is it now on the collarbone?
Well, you tell me because you're the one who's going to... Do you see, like with the shoulder rest, what you can do that, and that's not on the collarbone. That doesn't help at all.
Wait, where is my collarbone? But it's never really on my collarbone because it's like...
Why not?
Because the shoulder rest is coming here.
Well, fiddle around with.
Oh.
Because it will give you, when you're saying you have this pain here, it's all connected. If you have a pain here, it's going to affect, and you manage to play so beautifully, like this.
Yeah, but that's the trap, like, from the outside it looks like it's working.
Exactly. So we have to go inside to the feeling of them.
Working with Violin, like, really also open strings, Kreutzer, maybe, and also
as it comes from Fuchs.
Yeah, but maybe, yeah, it's difficult when you are already, like, giving concerts and so many distractions.
I personally find it's very hard to do both because we can't always put a student, you know, on open strings for 3 months. So what I think is important, if we can combine them, you know, even by doing a little bit of self-aware practice, 10, 15 minutes a day, that's still going to make a difference because slowly we retrain the reflexes. It doesn't happen immediately, but little by little, I think it's possible to do both. I mean, in an ideal world, yeah, you'll have all day, just the open strings. Okay, it's not always going to happen. We have to play concerts also. But we have that awareness sits somewhere in our brain. And like when you have something that really blocks us, we have an injury, say, okay, we can't play any longer. That's actually a really good wake-up call, like something is not going right. I remember with Nelli, she gave me these, you know, we had to do all the etudes. So Kreutzer, not just choose an etude. It was like, okay, we start here. In the Russian edition, number 2 is number 1, right? So the this one, check. Next one, check. There was one, I remember, you would play it through and you start at the beginning and you get to the last line. Usually, you know, teachers would be like, okay, that's okay. Yeah. She would listen to the very, very end. There was one with, you know, with the shifting, the E major. And then she's like, there was something at the end wasn't right. Next week. I remember for once I had to, it was 3 weeks on the same etude, and I would always be praying that I would make it to the end because, you know, if just the very second to last note wasn't good, like, no, next week. So all of Kreutzer, all of Rod, all of Daunt. And there was this Daunt one with the thirds. Everyone loved so much. And I hated double stops because everyone hates double stops. And my thumb started to hurt. And I was like, okay, something is not right. So I actually just had to stop. And it's like, the only way I'm going to do it is if it's completely relaxed. And then I started liking playing thirds because it actually was fun and they're pretty. But so sometimes when there's something that's stopping us, it really can be, you know, something that helps us. Exactly, totally.
It obligates you to take a step back and go back to the basics and not, oh, but I want to go on this tour. No tour.
Yeah, but you know, again, I think we can find ways to compromise. Sometimes we can play and it can affect the choice of repertoire that we have. And, you know, and we can even be aware, even if we play in an orchestra, for example, we can be playing and we can be holding long notes. You know, maybe it's not the most interesting part, but then we can say, oh, okay, I'm going to experiment. It's about finding, you know, the joy in analyzing all of this. Because, you know, again, the kids, they're told, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, they're musical, it works. And then after the age of 14, 15, they start thinking. And if they're not taught how to think and what to think about, Like, yeah, I wanted to get better. Everyone wants it to get better. But if we know how to think, in fact, that's what I feel that we're teaching. And Nelli was teaching us. Sometimes we wonder why we all feel like we learned so much, because she actually didn't say that much, but she was sort of guiding us what we should think about. And then we start thinking about it. We're like, we have ideas. And we start learning from that. And I think that's very important. I would suggest, of course, play with the shoulder rest, but play a little bit without, just to feel where the collarbone is. And tell me if you feel it makes a difference or not. Kind of like the prescription, and then we will find out. Like, even within a few days, if you feel it, it's different or not.
Yes, because I think this really works, this kind of techniques, but I feel like when I'm alone, I can't remember that feeling or something. So maybe.
So while we're here, profit from all these teachers who are here. And you can catch us and everyone will be like, okay, do you have 5 minutes? Yes, can I show you this? Show it to me in 5 hours. Not a problem. We're running around like crazy, but we always make time for the students, because that's why we're here. Okay, and that's why it's so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's see you later tonight or tomorrow.
Yes, please, that would be awesome.
Okay.